Well, at the beginning of tonight's show, we issued a call to our nation's leaders to focus less on GDP and more on fixing our pressing social ills, creating a cohesive society here in America, a place where people don't hate each other but are united in some common sense of citizenship. How can you do that exactly? We want to talk to Dave Isay. He's a radio producer. He's the founder of StoryCorps, which is one of the coolest things in this country, the largest oral history project ever attempted, and a man who might know the answer. He joins us tonight. Dave, thanks a lot for coming on.
Tucker, it's good to be here.
Let me just say I have no idea what your politics are, which is one of the reasons I like you so much, because I don't think you are primarily political. You're really interested in bringing people together. How do you think we begin that mission in a country this divided right now?
Well, StoryCorps is a real simple idea. We started 15 years ago. We have a booth where you come with your grandmother, your grandfather, or friend, and you sit for 40 minutes with a facilitator and ask him or her about his life. And most people think of it as, if I had 40 minutes left to live, what would I say to this person who means so much to me? At the end of the interview, you get a copy, another one stays with us and goes to the Library of Congress. So your great-great-great-grandkids can get to know your grandmother through her voice and story. So essentially what we're doing is collecting the wisdom of humanity. It started out as this kind of crazy idea. You've had 500,000 Americans participate to date. So it's the largest collection of human voices by far ever gathered. And to your question, you know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, seeing the fracturing of the country, we decided to try something new with StoryCorps, to test something new that we just launched. We're calling it One Small Step. And basically what we're doing is, you know, every one of these 500,000 participants have known and loved each other. And what we're doing now is putting people across the political divides inside StoryCorps booths, strangers, just to get to know each other as human beings and to realize that actually you don't want that person dead. You know, so we...
Good! So, let's start!
Yeah, well, you know, look, it's the hardest thing we've ever done. But, you know, we believe that obviously what's happening, the fracturing of the country, it's an existential crisis. And we have to remember, Mother Theresa used to say, we've forgotten we belong to one another. And we hope to remind the country that indeed we do.
And we do. As Americans, we do. And what do people learn when they do this?
Well, pretty much that everybody is basically the same. You know, that's what the facilitators who travel the booth for StoryCorps, collecting the wisdom of humanity. We've had hundreds of them. They go out and they record thousands of stories and then come back to New York where we're based. And if you ask them what they've learned, every one of them will give the same variation of an answer, and it's an Anne Frank quote, that people are basically good. And what you're going to find out is that the people across the divides are just people. And they love their families and they love their country, and they want the best for their children, and they have stories that matter and are important. You know, every story is equally important and should be honored and listened to. And you know, I think in this country, I hope, you know, people would feel like maybe we've had enough of this, and it's time just to listen to each other.
So two quick questions.
Yeah.
One, how do you participate in this? If you're watching at home and you don't know what StoryCorps is, how can you experience it?
So we just launched One Small Step, and we're going to be spreading it across the country. But come to our website. It's storycorps.org, STORYCORP.org/One Small Step, one word, and just sign up, and we'll get in touch with you. We're going to set up video kiosks across the country. This is an audio project, but we're going to connect people remotely, which we've never done before. So a grandmother in Alabama can get to know a grandmother in Minnesota. We'll have booths that travel the country, and we'll just start talking to each other again.
You've heard maybe more human stories than anybody I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Has it made you darker or sunnier as a person? Has it given you a rosier or a sadder view of human nature?
You know, it's everything that StoryCorps has made me so much more hopeful. You know, and that, you know, when we started StoryCorps, the first couple thousand people, you could say maybe there was a selection bias about the basic goodness of people. But after 500,000 people of every political stripe, every part of the country, small towns, big towns, you know, that there's got to be some truth to this idea of the basic goodness of people. And the fact that we are so much more alike than we are different.
It's
just true.
How many stories do you think you've heard?
Well, I've heard many. I mean, I'm not in the booth, but I've heard I've heard thousands and thousands and thousands.
It's such a cool thing. Dave, I say thank you very much.
Thank you
for coming on tonight.
Appreciate it.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.